In a previous video, I expressed my belief that the government will ban cryptocurrencies once it is ready to launch its own central bank digital currency, a CBDC. I have other concerns about cryptocurrencies as well. I haven't mentioned these yet because, obviously, if they're going to be illegal anyway, some of these other concerns are of little consequence. On the off chance that I might be wrong, I did want to go into it a little more. Now, it goes without saying that if I could go back and do it over again, I would buy 1,000 Bitcoins. But even now, after I've started buying cryptocurrencies, I still have some major hesitations. These hesitations aren't exclusive to cryptos. For example, I think that if people stopped using dollars en masse and used gold and silver, we would once again see the government ban those too. They did in the past forbid people from owning gold. Look into it. While I have cryptos in my portfolio, I just can't bring myself to allocate a great deal of my wealth to them, and in this video I am going to explain some reasons why. First of all, I already mentioned my belief that the governments will ban them or their use, so there is that. Additionally though, there is the problem that the blockchain needs electricity to do business. I'm not talking about the power consumption of the validation network. I'm talking about the simple fact that if you want to make a transaction, the devices you are using need to be charged, have to be connected to the internet somehow, which itself needs electricity, and furthermore, the various servers out there storing the blockchain need to have power too. I happen to believe that we cannot assume that we will have electricity indefinitely. There are numerous scenarios which could render our cryptos useless overnight, either an EMP attack, a Carrington event, or even something as simple as a mass power outage, like happened in New York and the Northeast in 2003, or more recently in Texas in 2021. Actually, this is more common than you realize, especially if you broaden your attention beyond the United States. If all you had was a cryptocurrency to survive in those situations, you'd be toast. But of course, as it is, we have our fiat currencies to get us through these situations right now. Assuming that you have cash in hand, you can still buy and sell. You can get that can of soup you need to survive. The dangerous assumption that we will always have electricity doesn't only apply to cryptocurrencies, of course. Societies that are trying to go cashless have already run into these problems. ATMs need electricity too. If a business only accepts credit cards, they're going to have problems also. If these occurrences don't last very long and are limited to a small region, there is good reason to think that you aren't going to die just because you can't use your cryptocurrency or your credit card. But if they do go on for a while, or extend across a wide region, every day that the situation persists is another day when your vast wealth, held in digital form, or in a stock market, or in bonds, or in crypto, or even at your bank, becomes increasingly worthless from a practical point of view. There are still more concerns that I have with cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, but those will wait for another video, so let me address the obvious question. So, what then? To answer that question, we have to think about what it is we are preparing for. If you think tomorrow will be the same as yesterday and this will continue for centuries, then you will proceed differently than a guy like myself, who years ago concluded that it is more likely that a black swan event of catastrophic proportions is going to completely alter our experience. If you believe the former, then I suppose you should double and triple down on crypto, bearing in mind my warning that it could be banned outright. But if you believe the latter, then I urge diversity. Diversifying your assets is already advice given by people who have been around the block, so this isn't that crazy of a thing to say. The truth is I have some crypto, and the crypto that I have I'm migrating mostly to the Kinesis exchange, which is backed by physical gold. Check out my review of Kinesis on my channel. But I'm not just planning for a collapse in crypto, but a collapse in fiat as well. That has driven me to invest primarily and chiefly in land, and I have been developing that land so that when everyone else is standing in bread lines, my family at least will be able to eat. Perhaps you aren't at that point, But I think you would be wise at least to consider the real possibility that our country cannot go forever with $30 trillion in debt, and that doesn't even include the unfunded liabilities, that it is virtually totalitarian, and it's doubtful it would allow cryptocurrencies to exist alongside a Fed coin. I think you would be wise to remember that currencies aren't for use only during the calm times, but also during natural disasters and worse. If your plans don't provide you with some kind of a fallback in these scenarios, I strongly urge you to revise your plans today. This is the Philosopher King 2.0, and I have spoken. Like and subscribe and check out my review for Kinesis, gold-backed crypto.